Yeah, so that's the deal. I think a lot of people. Miss Cynthia Contreras is talking to us today. Everybody, just so you know, she's out of Keller Williams in Sugarland, right?
That's right. Keller Williams
She's
Southwest out here in Sugarland.
she's a rock star. So if you need to buy or sell a house in Sugarland or the Houston area, right?
That's right.
She
Olive.
she she has car will travel. Just so you guys know.
That's right.
Yeah. So thanks for being on with me today. I really appreciate it. I've been trying to reach out to as many people as I've worked with in the past, but knowing that, like getting into what you just said about your husband, right? So
Hmm.
what a lot of people think is the VA is super slow. Because like when we were in back in the day, it was kind of slow.
Yes.
Here's what's
Yep.
great: they're automated now.
Yeah.
Do you know how
Yeah.
long it takes me to pull a certificate of eligibility for someone to
Oh,
purchase a home?
fast.
90
Instant.
seconds.
Yeah. It's practically instant.
Yep. And
Um,
then if they need, like, so what we found is, like, if you have a veteran client that they had Army and then they got out and then they went like Marine Corps, so they broke the
yeah. Yeah.
service. We have to send in both 214s to verify their length of service and both discharges.
Hmm.
2 days. I got it in 2 days.
Yeah.
It's
It's,
crazy. They're automated.
I have people who come to me and think, well, I don't have my COE yet, and I can't use my VA benefits. I'm like, yes, you can. Your lender can do this for you.
Yeah. Well, here's the
Matt can
problem.
do this for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what happens though, a lot of lenders that aren't super familiar with VA and how it works, right? And it's really not hard. Everybody thinks this thing's hard. It's not hard. You know that. I know that. You work with a ton of veterans to help them purchase homes,
That's
and
right. Yeah.
they're buying homes, right? They're closing
Absolutely.
on homes, right? Like they're getting houses. So what happens is a lot of lenders that don't understand the process will tell the veteran, "Oh, we can get that towards the end," right?
Yeah.
And so what happens is they wait till the end to order it. And then that's when you find someone like Cynthia got married while she was in the Navy. She gets out, and her name on her entrance paperwork was, what was your maiden name?
Lee.
So it was Cynthia Lee.
Yeah.
Well, her name is Cynthia Contreras now. So when we pull your COE, it's going to say Cynthia Lee. So now all we've got to do is send the DD Form 214 with the correct name from when you discharge service
Yep.
to the VA and say, hey, can you update this? They update your name. That takes about 7 to 14 days. We just got to update the last name. But if we don't pull that when we're pre qualifying you, there's no way you're closing in 30 days. You
Yeah.
can't pull that thing like 3 days before. That's what a lot of lenders think. And so when the veterans get reached out by the lender, what do you think they tell them? What do you think the lender tells the veteran?
Oh, it's going to take, 60, 90 days to get this done.
Well, not that, but what do you think the excuse is?
For
I'm
what? Not being able to do a
waiting
VA loan?
on, no. Well, why it's delayed? I'm waiting on the VA. That's what they
Oh,
tell you.
yeah.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
waiting on the VA. The VA is just super slow because
Yep.
the lender didn't do his job or her job
Ahead of
up
time.
front. Now they want to blame the VA, which now makes a whole bunch of agents hate the VA, which makes a whole bunch of military members continue to bash the VA. And the problem is they don't do it in the beginning.
That's
It's
yeah.
crazy.
There's a lot of myths out there surrounding VA loans. I've had homeowners come to me, clients come to me and say, I can't.
This is our car. We call it the truth about VA loans.
Yeah,
There's
there's a
10
lot because there's a
questions.
lot of myths, right? The myth, one of the biggest myths that I hear is that people aren't going to take my home loan, especially in this market, if it's a VA loan.
Hmm.
Negative.
Yeah.
I've gotten veterans into homes in this. It's about how do you structure that offer to make your offer, to make your contract be the one that gets chosen.
Yep.
Um, Sellers, the other thing is they think VA loans are going to take too long for all those reasons that you just say. And there's guard bands about it, right? Appraisals are required to be done within, 14 days.
Hmm.
There's time limits on those things.
Well, we
Um,
were talking, I was talking to one of the people I work with one day, and he said he was talking to an agent. And when he was talking with the agent, the agent told him was like, man, these VA loans are crazy. So the guy was like, well, what do you mean by that? Can you explain that to me? And what he said was, you got to do all these inspections, right? And the seller pays so much money because they got to make all these repairs. And so the guy I worked with was like, tell me more. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
He's like, we do the inspection, then we do the termite inspection, and then anything that comes out, the seller has to fix it. He was like, whoa, 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 whoa. So you're saying when you do your home inspection, the inspector that the client hires and pays money to come out and make sure your home's not falling down, you think the seller has to make every single repair on every item that he finds? He's like, yeah, that's how it works. It's like, I don't know who's talking to you, but
Yeah.
you are an agent and that's negotiable, right?
Exactly.
The only thing the seller has to do if it comes back out, now we're in Texas, right?
Yeah.
So Texas is one way. It is kind of different all over the country. But the only thing the seller in Texas, if there's a termite treatment, the seller's required to do that.
That's it.
But the buyer can purchase the termite inspection. The seller doesn't have to do it. But again, all of that stuff, those are changes to the VA loan that they just don't
Yeah.
read and they're not
They
aware
don't
of.
they don't understand. In fact, the contract that we just closed last week was a veteran, and the seller was hesitant to accept our offer because he had heard working with a VA loan is difficult. And so
What do
I
you
had
think he
to
heard
get
then?
on the phone and coach the selling agent what the VA process looks like today.
Yeah. Well, so the
Um,
question is, where did the seller hear that VA loans are difficult?
I have no idea. Yeah.
Like what homeowner, now veterans know that veterans know VAs are good. They probably have a VA loan. But if you're just a normal seller, you go out and meet a seller and you list a home because you list a ton of them and you get an offer and it's VA. What seller have you ever worked with that goes, oh, VA loans, those are horrible. I don't think I want to do it. What seller knows the difference between VA,
Between it. Yeah.
FHA, conventional?
Yeah.
You know where that comes from? That comes from the agent.
Well, I don't know about in this particular case. I don't want to badmouth her
No, I'm not
because
saying, but I'm
she,
saying in general,
yes,
and it may
in
not be your
general,
agent. It
correct,
could be another agent they worked with in the past.
correct,
But I
correct.
don't think it ever comes from the consumer. Like that's the thing. Is like, man,
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
yeah. There's a lot of consumer misinformation out there, and this just belief that it's going to be hard. And honestly, the loans that I've had, the VA loans that I've had, have all been smooth. Right? If there's going to be a trouble, we know that going in. And we anticipate it because it's easy to see a termite mound. It's easy to see, that the house is in disrepair and that the HVAC system doesn't work. And I know enough about that inspection process to go, this is a home that's going to be trouble. I don't think it's going to pass VA inspection. And my buyers are like, okay, we're out,
Yeah.
right?
Well, here's the thing. If you think about this, right, and as an agent as you are, you just described a few things that you look at in the home
Mm-hmm.
that you're like, oh, I don't think this is going to pass a VA inspection. Meaning, when the appraisal is done, they're not going to deem that it's like worth what
It's
they
not
think
going
it
to
would be
meet
worth.
minimum habitability
Right.
standards.
So, if you walked into that same house with a conventional buyer and saw an AC problem, what are you telling them?
I tell them they have an AC problem.
And we're going to need to get it fixed when we put the offer in.
Yeah.
So, irregardless of what kind of loan you're doing,
Yeah.
a good agent they're going to ask for that stuff anyway.
They're going to
So that's why
recognize it. Yeah.
it frustrates me to know that they say the VA holds them back.
Yeah.
It's
I've
not the
never
VA.
had a VA loan get held back by the VA ever,
Me either. You know
ever.
why? Because the inspection that your inspector is going to do is much more strenuous than the appraiser. Because newsflash to every agent out there, a VA appraiser is just a regular home appraiser. All they're doing is making sure that the value of the home is what you've offered for it, and they
Yep.
give you an appraisal.
And guess
Your
what?
inspector puts the
Unless you're
inspection
paying,
in.
unless you're paying cash, the same thing's going to happen. If somebody's lending you money, the house is going to be appraised and it has to meet appraised value.
Right. And then, but the inspection part that comes back is, you know, the roof has got to have a hole in it for a VA appraiser to
Yeah,
tell the lender, I don't think this one's good, man.
yeah.
Like if it's just basic appearance, I have, and I've never seen personally either a VA loan be held back for a safety or inhabitability issue. I've never ever seen it
The only time
personally.
I've ever seen it, and it wasn't in the state of Texas, it was in the state of New York, where basements and homes with lots of stairs to walk into it are around, because there you need to have a handrail if there's more than 3 steps or something like
Sure.
that.
And so that again brings up a good point. It goes state by state,
Yes.
right?
What are the
State by state has
requirements?
requirements. Yeah.
Yep. What are the
So
requirements
it's
for the
good.
individual state?
I mean, this is the way that I look at it. From being an agent before to being, doing what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to sell your house? I mean, because literally, I'm giving you a letter that says that this person qualifies. They can spend that
That's
money and they
it.
can do the deal. Do
That's
you want to
exactly
sell the
right.
house?
Yeah.
Right. But I think, again, I don't think it's necessarily the VA habitability process sometimes that comes into play. I think what a lot of people are afraid of is
Mm-hmm.
the appraisal, right? Especially in today's market, because there's that belief. There's that word, right? Belief,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
right? We got all those bold laws that we learned in Keller Williams, and when you believe something, it can become true. So here's what happens. Well, if they do a conventional loan, they have the money to cover the overage, so we can list it as high as we want. No, not really, because a good agent's going to send you an addendum for appraisal that says, if it doesn't appraise for this, we're not buying it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize on a conventional loan, you have to add that document to the paperwork because you're covered FHA and VA in a third
That's
party.
right. It's in the third party. It's in the
Right.
third party financing, or the additional right to terminate due to lender's appraisal.
But that's only for a conventional loan because when you do a
Mm-hmm.
third party on an FHA and a VA, it's
VA,
in the
it's already
paragraph
in the
on
third
page
party
two.
financing. Yep.
So a lot of agents are like conventional loan, no addendum to terminate, take the offer because they're like, oh well, it's not my problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just feeds to that, but it's just be professional, right? Do what you
Yeah.
do. That's what
Yeah,
I think.
that's it. That's it. And I'm okay. I'm a natural teacher, coach individual. So if I have
Yes, you
to
are.
coach somebody, whether it's the seller agent so that the seller can coach the selling agent can coach their seller, I'm happy to walk them through that and say, look, this is no different than any other pre-approval letter. Um,
Yep. I
I
think
will
the
say, in all of my buyers, though, with VA loans, I have only come across that once where the seller was hesitant because of the preconceived VA
okay.
notions. So I
Well,
think that mindset is shifting a bit, which is good. It's great for our veterans because that's what
yeah,
we're here for, is to make homeownership reachable for them.
yeah. I think the I think one of the key things that has helped them shift their
Mm-hmm.
thinking on a VA loan
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that a veteran's not capped anymore, right? Like you go out and you go into Houston, we go down into Memorial, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a veteran who, let's say they were a captain in the Navy or a colonel in the Army, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
came out, they got this really good job, and now they want to go buy a $3 million home because they can just do that. And they
Yep.
go to the seller and they drop this contract for a VA loan for $3 million, and they're like, "You can't do that." I'm like, yeah, absolutely can. And he's not going to put any money down if he doesn't want to. Like he's
Right.
just going to finance it. And then now that people are
First
hearing
of all,
veterans can go buy,
side note, can I have the income where I just, do a jumbo loan on VA and not put zero down on a $3 million home? Because can't even guess what that mortgage payment is like. And
I would love to have it.
I want to be able to
Well, here's
maybe
the
not
deal.
necessarily buy a $3 million home, but I sure would like that, that mortgage money.
Listen, Cynthia, if you just keep doing what you're
Just
doing
follow the process.
and you just keep being who you are as an agent, you're going to buy a $10 million home in the future.
All
You know
right.
that. As long as you keep going where you're going, like you're
I'll
climbing the
stay
ladder.
licensed and I'll use you as my lender.
Say again.
Said, stay licensed. I'll use you as my lender.
Hey, I mean whatever we can do to help, It's but it's one of those deals. Like if you follow, like right now, what are you doing now? You're building a team, right?
I'm building a team. That's right.
And why
I
would you
have,
need to build a team?
I, because I have more leads coming in than I have time to deal with it myself.
So
I've got so much,
proof number one that you're doing the right thing.
I've got so much business that I need that help.
Yeah. And
So
that right there is I'm excited to hear that for you.
yeah, thank you.
I'm very excited
It's
because
been, it's not, I wouldn't say it's been a long road. I've been in business a little over 3 years now, but it's been an interesting road, and it
mhm.
takes my personality. It takes me a little while to get my feet on the ground, but once I do, I'm there.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I mean, it's great because uh, you get to take everything you learned and give it to others, and that's
that's
you brought in
exactly right.
earlier being a coach and wanting to help people. Like naturally, that's what you do. I've
Yep.
experienced that with you, and I think that any agent that comes in to work with you, if there's agents out here looking for a job, like call, like just
Yeah,
ask and
and
see if you
if you
fit. Right?
know of anybody who's looking for that coaching mentor environment, send them my way.
For sure.
Send them my way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Because there's not very many. I don't know. There's not very many teams out there that I would tell you just run and work for, right? I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages, right?
Yeah, well,
But
here's what I have found. There are this is why I love real estate, okay? This is the perfect vehicle for us to express ourselves, and it doesn't matter what your personality is. There is a way for you to be wealthy and to build your wealth and to build intergenerational wealth, right? Set your children up for success in their future, right?
it's
Nice.
also well, it's also amazing to see that not just wealth, right? But anyone can feel success, and whatever that means to them.
That's
I
exactly
make
right.
appointments. I show houses, I list houses, people buy houses, I do the paperwork for you. Whatever your version of success is, you can do it.
Whatever that means. There is a place for everyone in this family. I mean, it really is. And that's what I love about real estate.
Yeah.
Truly, truly love about it.
I think that's also what you love about where you work at Keller Williams, right? Like they are
I
all about
do.
family, right? They push
They
that culture.
are. Yeah. I mean, I think, so Keller Williams has, you want to talk about preconceived notions, okay? There is a preconceived notion about Keller Williams.
Yeah,
It took me several interviews here before I decided to come here, because there's just this perception that, you know, KW agents are sharks and they're backstabbers and they just, and I have found that to be so far from the truth.
sure.
It's it's a family environment here. We support each other. Um, you
Well,
know,
I mean, think about it. Pick a brokerage.
yeah,
Pick a. It doesn't matter. 3 agents to 3,000 agents.
yeah,
We are human beings. We are people.
that's
So being that
exactly
we're
right.
people first,
Yep,
not everybody's gonna be like warm, welcoming, and perfect, right?
that's exactly
There
right.
are people everywhere. Here's the deal. Why do people hate on most people? Like, let's say, why do I not like uh, why do I not like Keller Williams? Why do I not like uh, athletes that are winning championships? I don't like them because they're successful. I've got to
Mhm.
bring them down because if I do, I have a chance now to get in there a little bit. And if I make these people look
Yes.
bad, right? And
Yes.
so, and that's kind of the opposite for us. You can use whoever you want. You can talk
Yeah.
to whatever lender. I don't care.
Yeah.
All we want to do is teach agents,
Mhm.
20,000 in the last 18 months, and consumers. Like I did a class last night,
Mhm.
6 p.m. I was on there with one of my partners, and we taught 137 people signed up. We taught 35 live.
Nice.
6 people are starting to apply to purchase a home. It's just that because I'm not asking you to buy a house.
Yeah.
All I'm asking is for you to come learn how to use your benefit. Like learn
That's
how to
it.
use it. And
That's it.
teaching agents exactly what you're doing. Let me walk you through how this VA process works so that you're more educated, so that if you see that loan come across, you start to realize that a VA buyer is
Mhm.
way more secure than any other buyer. Like they're
Yeah.
backed by the VA. They're not putting money down, which means now I'm not going to come to you at the end and go, oh, you know what? They don't have enough money to close because they can't afford the 3.5% or the
Yeah,
25% down or the 5% down payment. Something happened. Like it's no money down. And half the time with a veteran, we'll say 40, 50% of the time, their earnest money covers everything.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
One area I've come across this the last few times because I deal a lot with veterans that have 100% disability,
Yep.
which here in the state of Texas, God bless Texas, they don't have to pay property taxes.
Nope.
Okay, it's a huge benefit for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to caution them to when you get into that scenario, because the sellers will credit to the buyers what they have paid either in escrow or what they owe on property taxes through the day of closing. And that money can then be used, it's money's fungible, right? So it can be used to pay off those part of those closing costs. I want to make sure that our veterans know that they will be responsible for that portion in January. It made me, I know we weren't sort of on topic, but
No, that's fine. That's
this
good.
is really important because it's
Yeah.
caught some of my veteran clients off guard when
Mm-hmm.
the county comes to them and says, hey, you owe us property taxes from last year. And they say, no, I'm 100% disabled. I don't pay
Yeah, but
property
you live in
taxes.
that house from January to August, so someone lived there that wasn't disabled.
That's exactly right. And that
It's just
money
better
is,
to leave it in the account. Like I've even noticed that we haven't like that amount that the seller credits, they don't
mhm.
even need it. Just leave it
No,
there and let it get paid.
they don't, but the type, I guess it's something that you want to make sure your title companies are aware of and that the veterans are aware of
For
so
sure.
that that money gets set aside. It, right? They can't send it to the property taxes because there's no bill out. So title company won't send it out,
For
but
sure.
make sure that money is set aside so there's not a surprise in January when a tax bill.
Rainy day fund. There you go.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
it.
for sure. That's a good point. It's there's so many benefits, right? So many. And
Yeah.
it's hard to wrap your head around the fact that just so many people don't know those things. You know, like think about it. I'm a real estate agent. I service clients. I help clients, right? It's just amazing that I could tell you anything you wanted to know about a conventional loan. This is how you do
Yeah.
PMI. This is what the percentage is. This is the down payment. Like I'm like Einstein with PMI. And
Yeah.
I say VA or FHA, and you're like, what's that? I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Which they're not even, in my opinion, they're
Mm-hmm.
not even as complicated as conventional loans. Like when you got to figure all the numbers and what's the PMI and how much is it going to be, and if I needed to put this much down, but oh, if I only put this down, like
So
they get
that's all
crazy.
your stuff, right? I
Oh,
rely
for sure.
heavily on right, on my lenders. I give like you tell me what
Yeah.
that payment's going to be like because I'm not running
Yeah.
these numbers. I took that
Yeah.
class when I got licensed, and now I've got lenders. Now I've got you. Okay, you do
Yeah. No, for
this.
sure. We just. I mean, it's just a difference in how you approach it, right? And so,
Yeah.
being an all veteran team, we'll just reach out to your veteran
Mm-hmm.
or your client if it's a conventional or FH. We do it all, but we'll call them and go, listen, I want to make sure I have all of your information, right? Not, and
Mm-hmm.
this is me. Other people may think I'm crazy, but people thought I was crazy as a realtor for showing houses without a buyer's rep. And I mean, I did pretty good. Because I'm not going to ask you to give me your life the first time that I talk to you, right? Like we
Yeah,
need to establish a relationship. I think
that's
that's
right.
where military
That's
veterans
exactly
do
right.
well in these arenas. So I'll talk to the client and say, I need to verify that this is how much money you make. Like send me your stuff and
Mm-hmm.
let me see your tax returns. And then how much do you want to purchase? And we verify all those numbers. Then I say, the only way I can give you a monthly amount that you're going to pay for your home is for me to run your credit. Are
Yeah.
you sure? I know you electronically said I can do it, but I want to hear from you, me talking to you. I've introduced myself to you. I want to get to know you first. Are you good with me running it? And we don't even do that part until they tell us that they can. And then we'll tell them on that much of a loan, we'll give them around what a price is, right? This is
Okay.
what the payment would be. This is what the interest rate would be. So that way, before I send an agent a pre-qualification letter. Like I know that they've told me they can that like they're comfortable with that amount. So when I reach out
Yeah.
and goes, "Hey, Cynthia, James, and Jane are ready to go purchase the house," we've talked about interest rate, what it's going to cost them, how much they're going to have to pay per month, and they've
Yeah.
told me up to that number they're comfortable. So
Hmm.
now what that means, and you understand all of this too, I'm not giving you too much information, but I just want you to know I've looked at it all with them. So there should never be a time where my agents come back and go, they said they can't even afford the house you told them they could buy. I'm like, no, that's not true. Because we make sure we do it up front, right? There's a lot that we do up
Good.
front so that
Yeah.
we can make sure that they're good on the back end. Like
That's so important because a lot of times buyers don't think about like the number of the home sale price,
yeah,
especially if they're a first time home buyer. Repeat buyers are a little more sophisticated, but first time home buyers who've been renting, right? Think of, okay, I know that my current rent is $1,800,
yeah,
and I know that I can afford up to $2,200 a month
yeah,
in rent.
yeah.
So that's what they're
Well,
working off of.
well, here's the thing. You think you can afford 2,200. That is correct. But until you've talked to a lender that runs your DTI to make
Yeah.
sure that your debt to income matches that $2,200 payment that you want to do, because a lot of people, yeah, I can afford 1,800 bucks, but if you've only got $30 left at the end of the month after you've paid your rent and your bills,
Right,
you
right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
part
yeah.
of doing it up front, right? Like we want you to know. And the other thing that I do every time, I like to I sticker shock the client up front, right?
Hmm.
I need you to have access to this much money the day you close.
Yes,
I'm
that is
90% of the time way
critical.
over what you need. I'm way over what you need 90% of the time,
That
right?
is critical. Okay.
But I tell every client, like, I want you to be shocked now. Because if
Yeah.
that's a shock to you, you may need to wait, and I will let your agent know, and they will be all good with you waiting instead of
Yeah.
getting into a contract. And now the agent's stressed out because they see a closing coming, food and clothes for the family that's
Absolutely.
already accounted for because this person's under contract, and then them go, that's a lot of money. I didn't know I need that. And you wouldn't believe how many times have you heard it? How many times? Oh my
Absolutely.
God, they don't have the money. Can you find
That
it from your family? Can you get a gift?
that is another misconception about VA loans, and this
Mm-hmm.
is on the buyer side, is that, oh, on a VA, I don't need any money to purchase the house.
Yeah, no,
Well, you don't need any money down,
no.
okay, but you still need to cover the closing costs, which include things like transfer fees and property taxes and escrows and things like
Yep.
all of that stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when we teach our course to the realtors and we teach our course to the buyers, we're
Which
like,
I wasn't
listen,
invited to the last real estate course, so I'm kind of upset about that.
I'll
I
send you a
won't,
link today and you
I
can
won't
take the
take it
class today if you
personally.
want. I thought you'd taken this class already.
Not with you. I don't.
I don't teach it.
Oh, well,
Yeah. I mean, if you've taken it in the past, but we can send it to you for an update and a refresher because it's always good to get refreshed on the numbers, right?
that's right.
I like that though. You're calling me out like you should. But when we teach the agents and the consumers, what we tell them is yes, 100% financing. That's what you're going to get. It's 100% financing. However, you got to pay insurance, you got to pay taxes, and there is a cost for you to get that property in your name.
In your
So the
name.
title company, the attorneys for the title company, they all have to do documents and they have to set it up. Depending on the state,
That's
there may
right.
be transfer taxes. Like
Hmm.
anything the state requires to purchase this home, that has nothing to do with the VA. The VA is only concerned we can give you this much money. But then there is, so that's why we tell them, we're going to tell you that you're going to need money at the table, right?
Yes, and that's huge. That's
Yeah,
huge.
for sure.
Um, what about the other? Here's another misconception I hear out there is that, oh, I don't want to use my VA loan right now because I might want to use it again in the future, or I might want to use it in the future when I'm married and have a kid.
Sure. So the truth is, you can use it as many times as you want. There is no cutoff.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, can you have more than one VA loan at one time?
Yes.
Absolutely, you can.
Yep. As long as you
So,
have enough eligibility.
correct. And even if you don't have enough eligibility, you can own more than one VA home loan at a time,
Yep.
as long as you're willing to put some money down if you go over the county limit, right?
Yes.
Whatever the difference is over the county limit, you got to put money down on it. So you can do all this.
I know.
Now, when you get to that
It's
part
great.
where
I
like you're
love
going
it.
over county
And
limits
that
and it might be a lot of
information,
money to
are you
put
there?
down, sometimes a different loan product is better, but
Matt,
you know, it's not always.
Matt,
Yeah,
there, are you back?
yeah, I've been here.
We're going to have to edit that part out because
We can
you
do that.
froze.
I can't hear you.
Oh, wait, can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you now. So
Okay.
here's the thing: when you look at the certificate of eligibility for a veteran, their county limits. Let's say they go over. When a veteran's going to go over a county limit,
Mm-hmm.
then as a lending professional or a realtor that
Mm-hmm.
knows, that's when you want to look at other loan products. Like, does this really make sense to do a VA and spend all that money? If you're going to spend the same, it just depends.
Yeah.
Now,
It's
half
just,
the time, the interest rate on the VA is way competitive to the other ones, so that makes sense.
yeah.
But yeah, like all it is resetting entitlement.
Yep.
And like if you sell a house, it resets it, it goes to another one. Like you can buy as many as you want.
Yeah.
That's like we get that question all the time. Hey, um, thanks for coming today. We appreciate you teaching us, and that's great information. But I already used mine, so it's one time and done. We're like, are you sure? Are you positive? How about I show you something? And then they're like, are
Exactly.
you serious? Can I refinance? Oh, you can absolutely refinance back into a VA and get out of that FHA. And I hear a lot of
Yeah.
people tell me, hey, I've lived in my house like 6 years. I'm not paying insurance anymore on my loan. I'm like, well, what kind of loan do you have? FHA. I'm like, oh, you absolutely are still paying mortgage insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I
But
know.
like a lot of people just don't know. And that's why, like, I think yesterday I was talking to someone and I said, we're like prophets for VA loans, man. We just want to give you the information. We don't necessarily want to be the person that does it for you,
That's
but I
right.
just want
Just
you to know.
know. Just
Mhm.
know that you can use this out there. So this buyer that came to me and said, well, he doesn't want to use his VA benefits because he might want to use them again in the future. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so you and I need to meet because that information is not accurate. And
Yeah.
I want to be able to give you the ability to live the best life now and in the future.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much resistance did you get to that? I don't even know. Are you sure? I don't know. I heard from this person that's a C lawyer in the other place that was a junior C lawyer to another guy. That's not true. So
Lawyers
no,
are the
it's not.
worst.
C lawyers, though, you remember those guys?
Yeah. Not,
They know everything about
for any
regulations.
of your lawyer listeners, love you guys. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
Mute the podcast now
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
come
But
back in
it's
about 5 minutes.
and I like talking about, like I said, those sea lawyers in the military, right? We called them sea lawyers in the Navy. That, oh, you can't go to college and do this, or oh, there's no way that you can put a request in to do that. Oh, they're never going to do that for you. Like, how do you really? You just told this guy he can't do three things or four things, and the answer is it's absolutely doable.
Yeah,
The reason why half
absolutely.
this stuff doesn't happen in the military is because people don't ask. That's why they don't get it, because somebody told them they couldn't do it, and they decided that it wasn't the right time to do it. So education.
That's the reason why people, and I mean that right there in a nutshell is the reason why people aren't successful in real estate, or
Yep.
there's such a large attrition rate in our industry because somebody told them they can't do it. Somebody told them that or they think themselves they're not a salesman. I
Sure.
spent 12 years as an engineer. If you
Yeah.
met an engineer, they are not salesy at all. Okay. So here I am defying the odds
Yeah.
because
But
I
you're
don't
also a
sell
mom,
I
so
don't sell
moms
real
are very
estate. I
attentive.
follow a process.
So I mean, so let's talk about that then. So right now you're building a team. So what does the future for you look like? Like if you wanted to paint the picture of what your future is going to be, tell me what you expect to see you doing in the next 2 or 3 years.
So the next 2 to 3 years is really cementing the team that I have here to make it functional that I can leave and set up a team in another state
Oh,
and basically go back and forth so that I have not only the buyer's agents, but I have a listing specialist. I have an operations manager who manages all of that. And then I'm out in Florida setting up my team in Florida.
there it is.
Yeah,
I want to move to the fun and sun
that's
and
right.
enjoy running all this from my beach house on the beach
That's
with my
right.
toes in the sand.
Hashtag goals. Okay. I mean, and so there you go, right? So we set
That's
up a
awesome.
team in Florida and do the same thing. So in 5 years, I'm going back and forth between the two and looking at where am I going to expand in my third location.
Sure. No, that's good. That's you know what, and so that's having goals. Having goals is always important,
Yep.
And I
And
think that anybody that doesn't have a hefty goal like that, that's a hefty goal, right? Would you say that?
yeah,
To have a team in
audacious
two
goal.
places and manage it and hold it down and do all of it, it's a hefty goal. But if you don't push yourself, you won't succeed.
Yep. And you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone.
For sure.
I mean, I was talking with somebody, and I think back to my 20s, my early 20s, and I was fearless. Well, it turns out there's a biological reason for that because our brains aren't formed until 26, 27 years old. I was too stupid. I was still not fully formed human being, right? So here I am in my 40s, and I need, like,
Nobody.
now it's about knowing that if I step out of my comfort zone, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And fail forward. And if it doesn't work, if I hire the wrong person, if I screw up what I'm going to say, go out there and start over again because every single time you get better.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm looking at my thing here.
Okay.
We're gonna pause for a sec. Are you showing online?
I'm showing online.
Okay. It'll be okay. We'll be good. Because it's showing offline here. So I just want to make sure that yours is showing online. And if you had
What is, are you talking about the little green dots?
mine's
Yeah.
green, yours shows red for me, but it's okay. We
Mine
can
shows green.
we'll be able to cut it through. No
Okay.
problem. So moving on from just overall. So what are the latest? So tell me about what other kind of things can people see you out there doing? What other things are you involved in? Is there anything that you would like to talk about, promote, bring up, let people know that you're doing it so maybe they can get involved to help as well? Or is a lot of what you're doing now trying to build and grow? And I know through that, there's a lot of community outreach that needs to be done in that. Is there
Yes.
anything out there that
So
you're
right now, so we like, I'm phrasing it in the terms of growing and growth, but really my focus is to help people on a fundamental level. I'm a caretaker. Okay. And this really, I was interviewing a candidate, a buyer's agent candidate, and, and it really solidified my purpose because on the other side of the table, I saw this gentleman who had been in real estate and had very few transactions in the last year.
Mhm.
And speaking with him, it was like looking in a mirror of the personality type. I understood where his fears were, where his concerns were, where he was worried. And um, I'm looking at him going, I know I can help you overcome those fears. I know it. I know it because I've done it, because I've had those same fears and I've gotten through the other side of them.
yeah,
And so for me, yes, I have a 2 year, 5 year plan, but really it all centers around how do I make people more successful doing the things that they want to do.
sure. So what do you have to see in somebody in order for you to say they're worth me taking the chance on, and I think I can help them? Now, what I
You
mean by that, what do you need to see in that person? Not your opinion of them, but what do
Right,
you need to
right,
see in them that makes you feel
right.
like they're a good fit?
Absolutely. I need to see that they're willing to put in the effort to grow as a person. Okay?
Yeah,
Growing as a person is hard. It's hard,
yeah.
right? It's not Instagram easy where it's a bunch of hashtags and best life and rose all day,
Are you
okay?
serious? Oh, I've been doing it wrong this whole
You've
time.
been doing it wrong, Matt.
I know that's not
and
true.
and I know it's not. And
I don't even know how to use that stuff.
and but that's what I have to. They have to be willing, know that it's going to take work. And when I say work, I don't mean out there hustling every day, putting out signs. And no, I mean the mental work in your headspace and in your heart space to be a better person and to be a better at your craft.
So
Um,
would it be fair to say that you tend to see something and then they don't see, and your goal is to bring that out of them, right? Like they
yeah,
may not
absolutely.
display it to you, but through their mannerisms and attitude, you can see that they have potential. They
Absolutely.
just don't realize it.
That's exactly right.
That's
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah. That's why
You
we
know
have,
what's
we have the
you know what?
conversation.
Yeah, unfortunately, 90% of the job market does not hire that way.
Yes.
So a
That
lot
is
of people want
true.
you to come in and be a rock star agent already. They want you to be like a great accountant. They want you to be a phenomenal sales manager. They want you to be already good at everything, right? They want
And
you to come in and
it
do that.
forces people to write their resume that way.
Yeah. And so then you hire them and you're like, wait a minute, dude, you can't even spell sales. What does that mean? He's
Yeah,
like, oh, well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. And then they lose the job. And so employers are trying to figure out what's going on. And it's the age old adage. We would love to hire you. You just don't have the experience we're looking for. Well, how am I supposed to get it if I
yeah,
don't find there's no entry level job for me to do this
yeah.
or for whatever. So that alone is a reason that I like what you said way earlier in that anyone can succeed in real estate. There
Anyone.
doesn't have to be a background. All you really got to have is a willingness to help people, but genuinely help people. If you,
Genuinely help people.
I
Yes.
think that we talked about this when we went through Bold way back. If anybody does this job because of the dollar sign attached to the closing disclosure, they're absolutely in it for the wrong reason. You're going to
And
make
they're gonna
far
burn out.
much more, but you're going to make so much more money
Yep.
if your main concern is how you're helping people.
Yep.
That's just the
It-
bottom line.
you're going to make more money and you're going to be happier and healthier when you do it.
Oh, for sure.
Because
I
there's going to
think,
be an alignment between your core values and your paycheck. And I can't put a price on that. I mean,
no, you can't. I mean, you
I got
can't. You
truth
can't
bumps thinking like just saying that.
for
You can't
sure.
put a price on that. To
We
me,
were,
it's priceless.
yeah, we were talking the other day, our team of people, we were just, and a lot of times we'll share how we, because everybody in our team is military. So Army guys and Marines and Navy,
Mhm.
you know how it is when you get all those people in a room, it's like crazy. However, we had a pretty good conversation the other day where we all individually, right? I was a senior chief in the Navy. We got guys that were sergeants in the Army. We got guys that were sergeants in the Marine Corps, right? So the Marine
Yep.
guys kind of get it, right? They kind of get it. But the Army guys the other day were like, man, I keep hearing me and two other guys, right?
Yeah.
We were all in the Navy, chiefs, senior chiefs, right? So just
Yep.
the way we talk about it is a little bit different. It's not bragging, but we're really pointing intent about like how we look at things, especially if it's like a leadership decision or something, right? Like,
Correct.
you guys are different. Well, that's funny because we think you're different, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. But they're like, I just don't understand. Like, explain it to me. And I used to tell them that, first off, what's the highest, it's not an honor, but what's the pinnacle of a career in the Army, right?
hmm
And the pinnacle of a career in the Army, it depends on what it is that you want to be and do. It could be making sergeant, it could be, E4, E5, E6. There's a lot of different ones. And I used to tell them, I mean, and I can't speak for the Navy today because I'm not in. said, but when I was in, the pinnacle was a chief. If you were going to stay in long enough to be in the Navy, you wanted to be a chief because everybody knew that the saying is ask the chief. Like they go from the top to the bottom, and you're just taught a certain way to look at things
Yeah.
to where
Yep.
that you leave your emotions away from what you're doing. Like you
Yeah.
can't ever look at it like that. When I was at E6 and below in the Navy, emotional, like all get out. Like
Yeah.
if I was pissed, then we were gonna make the decision because I was angry. But when I became a chief, and they teach you that, like, why would you, it's always like, why would you look at it that way? Why would you, you
Mm-hmm.
know, tackle it in a different manner? And when you just said like core values and what you value and who you are, that's what's important to how you react. Like it just brought me back to that conversation. And after we got done talking to them, I was the same way. I mean, I probably could have shown them on the camera my arm. I'm like, dude, the goosebump. I probably just grew
Yeah.
like an entire new body of hair just now.
Yeah.
Just talking about it because of what I value to it, because they, they all, I don't know, they just all see how we interact with each other. It's just different. And I'm
It's
like, that's
it is
because we're the
different.
only service that does that. We're the
Yeah.
only service that takes someone that gets promoted into the E7 level and put them through a curriculum to just teach them leadership. We are the only service that does that.
Yep.
And they were like, well, we've got like, I think they called it ANOC or something like that. And I was like, that's great, but anybody going to a leadership position can do that for the most part.
Yeah.
E6, E7, maybe sometimes a hot run in E5 can go to that course. You can't go through our course unless you get
Unless
selected,
you're
right?
there. Yeah.
So they were like, oh, like so then they start to kind of get it. But that's the deal. I think that's what I like most about real estate too is if you carry those core values we were taught, any
Mm.
branch of service, and you bring them with you, you're always going to lead with
You're
service
always
rather
going to
than
leave. That's
selfish.
right. That's right.
Yeah. It brought me back like, oh, we were talking about that the other day. It was crazy. But it's fun, man. You can take what you did in the Navy that you had to, we learned and we worked a job and we answered to somebody.
Yep.
Well, now I've taken all those values and I answer to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I still can help the same amount of people, if not
Yeah.
more, right? Especially now with what I do nationwide. Like we can help so many more.
Yeah.
Now I don't even wake up in the morning and be like, man, I gotta go to work, right? Like I'm going to help some people.
Yep.
It's crazy, but it's a good feeling to have, right? So,
That's exactly right. And it's a great business to be in because of that.
oh, for sure. And the best part is just seeing how people react because
Yep.
they're purchasing their first home, right?
Yep.
They're at the closing table and they're just so excited, right?
Wait, and you know who my favorite clients are? The ones that are asking a bazillion questions.
Yeah,
And they're like, Cynthia, I'm so sorry. I probably asked this again. I've asked this before, but
yeah,
what does it mean when X, Y, and Z?
yeah.
I love it because when you're buying your first home, you've got so much information coming at you. And I've been through this process. I do it every single day.
Yep.
It's my job to answer those questions, and I'm so happy to do it for people.
I'm glad you said it because I was about to. I mean, I signed up and it's my job to answer your question. So if I
Yeah,
don't want to answer the same question 10 times, then you probably should go find someone else to work with.
that's exactly right.
But the problem is, how many do you tend to do open houses still? I
I
don't know if you still
do. I
okay.
do. I do have an open house strategy that I use.
So when you go to an open house, you know
Hmm.
what? Tell me what you feel about people walk in the door, right?
Hmm.
I love it. Like, okay, first question. Well, are you pre-qualified? You ask people that, right? And they're like,
Yeah,
yeah, we've been
absolutely.
pre-qualified for a while. Then they tell you, we've made offers on a lot of places. We just can't get them done. And then they tell you, we just decided to come today because our agent's really busy and he just told us to let him know how, or her know how we like the house. I'm like, stop right there. Can you say that one more time? Your real
Yeah.
estate agent told you they were too busy to come
Yeah.
with you here to spend $350,000. This is a big decision for you guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys really want to buy a house because you just told me to put a lot of offers in. That is probably like, and I get it. There is a lot of agents that work with multiple clients, but if you know you've got somebody pre-qualified out there looking, like go with them.
Go with them.
Yeah,
or
just go and set
leverage
up
them
that
out
tour.
to somebody who is going to take care of them.
Yeah. I
Um,
just think it's my
I get-
favorite response was always, well, we know our agent's really busy. Like too busy to help you. I just laugh at that every time like, okay,
kills me.
I guess
Well,
I'm not.
you get sign calls. Well, I want to see this property. I
Yeah.
have an agent, but I just want to make sure it's the one before I bring my agent involved.
Tell your agent to give me a call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because what the hey, man?
You know who the king of that is?
Who?
Zillow calls. Have you ever done Zillow?
No.
When someone calls in on Zillow, they'll call
Oh,
and go, "Hey, I really want to make an appointment to see this house. First question, do you have an agent?" Yeah, I do, but they're really busy. Okay, well when they're not busy, you can set an appointment. I know that's harsh to you. You may not like to hear that answer, but what's really crazy is the other one. They're really busy and I don't want to waste their time. So you want to waste my time. Okay,
yeah.
that's cool. I don't have anything to do either. How did you know I didn't have nothing to do today? You must be psychic.
I love it.
It's crazy, man. But it just goes to show you right now what we see, even on our side and working with agents, there's so many people looking to purchase a home that it does get very, very busy. Hence the reason you
It
have to
does.
hire people to be on a team with you
That's exactly right.
because you want to give good customer service,
That's
right?
exactly right.
I can't handle the people I got coming in. You didn't one time say because I'm trying to grow this big business and make a lot of money. You were like, because I can't service the people that
Mhm.
are wanting to work with me. So I need to hire people to give them better service, right?
That's exactly right.
That's why you do it.
That's exactly. It's about
Yeah.
maintaining that service orientation, and then the rest will follow. The rest will follow.
Yeah, no, it all follows.
Yep.
It always comes down to what are you willing to do to be successful?
Yep.
And so there's a large turnover in real estate because people think I got my license, I'm going to put a sign in a yard because it's that
Mm-hmm.
easy to get a listing and everyone's going to call me. And then they get their license and go, man, ain't nobody called me. Well,
What
you
do I
haven't called
do?
anybody.
It's exactly
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's exactly right.
Or brand new agents come in and you go, all right, how many people do you have in your phone? They're like 100. And you haven't
Mhm.
called them yet? Well, I haven't talked to them in a long time.
So
So,
what?
yeah, yeah. So what you're telling me is you're more comfortable calling a complete stranger that you have never talked to than calling someone that knows you. That
Yeah,
does not make sense to me.
I know.
You're doing the same thing whether you call a person in your phone or someone you've never met. So what you haven't talked to in a long time, at least you know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at
And they're
least they
like,
know who you are.
well, they would probably get upset if I called them just to ask if I knew someone that wanted to buy a house. So again, you don't know me and you're perfectly willing to be like, hey, I don't know you. Can you give me some money? Can you say that again? Do you know anybody that wants to buy or sell a house? Or what about you? And then you get hung up on, and now you're angry because all these people just hung up on you because they're mad because they didn't sell their house.
That's
And you're like,
exactly right.
these people are rude. We told you to call the 100 in your phone and you won't do it.
And you won't do it.
Yeah. And then you see
You
another
know what I tell
agent.
people now? I tell my the people on my team and the ones that I coach on script, it's you do not have the right to go out and prospect for business until you have called your sphere.
Yeah.
You
Well, and
call
the
your
other part of
database.
that, though,
All of those who
they
know, love, and trust you.
they see someone that walks into the real estate office, right? Brand new
Mhm.
agent. And this agent's been there 6 months, and in their mind, they're
Mhm.
killing it because they're at work every day, right?
Yeah.
Nothing under contract, never done a listing. But then this new kid comes in, right? Comes in, hears someone say, call everybody in your phone. 3 weeks later, they're like, oh, I just had a buyer. Oh, I just got a listing. And people are like, that guy's lucky. No, no, he listens.
He
It's
listened.
easy.
That's all you
Yeah,
got to
it's
do.
just,
Follow the
yeah,
process.
for sure.
Follow the process.
What was the I don't know. There's movies in that all the time. It's like just trust the process. I promise you'll be
Yeah.
okay. You'll be
Yeah.
okay. Well, so aren't you? You're going on vacation. Where are you going on
I
vacation
am.
to?
We're headed to Hawaii here pretty soon.
Hawaii.
Yep. We're going to leave on Sunday,
Hmm.
and we'll be back the following Sunday.
Nice. Maybe you could scope out locations to expand your team to Hawaii.
I am, in fact, going to be meeting with team members and team leaders over in the Hawaii area.
Nice. Which island are you going to?
We're going to go over to Waikiki,
Mm-hmm.
Honolulu.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I
So you're
haven't
gonna
been
go
there.
meet people there and be like, "Look, I'm a big deal in Texas.
That's
So,
right.
being that I live in Texas and now I'm here in Hawaii, this state is only so big, and I don't know if it'll fit me, but you can talk to me about what you can offer me, and
That's
it's
right.
good. I tell you what, if you can do it right,
Yep.
which I know you'll be able to, you'll be able to. It'll be pretty good. Like you can find some people that can work with you. I think that one barrier that I found a little bit is when I was an agent and
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to build and grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was like, I'm gonna go get licensed in Louisiana. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody was like, why would you do that? Why don't you just refer it and get 25%, right? That's what they tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So much easier to refer it. There's that word easy again,
I
right?
know.
I don't like to do anything easy, so I was like, I'm going to do it. And I did it. I got my license in Louisiana. Um,
You're from Louisiana, right?
yeah, exactly. I, I got family there. But
Yeah.
uh, I did it, and then it was like, man, if I wanted to, and I made the switch to do something bigger, mission over selfish, right? This
Yeah.
mission of helping people was more important. But I was like, all I really got to do is find some newer agents that are coming in and say, hey, if you wanna work, I can help you. I'll provide the leads. I just need you to call. And then once a week we need to talk so I know what you got moving so I can help you get there. And I was like, seems like it's pretty simple to do. Now I know it's hard. It is really, really hard because if you're not there,
But
then
that's
it's
the
a
framework
different
of it.
dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you provide the right service, they're gonna come. And so I was like, man, in my brain I was like, I'm gonna be huge. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna be in like 50 states. And then I went, no, I probably don't want to do that. It's a lot of continuing education, by the way. No,
Yep.
I'm good. Thank you, but no,
Yep.
thank you. But yeah, it was. I hope that you find some people out that you connect with because not only can you connect with them to build in Hawaii, right? But it's always
Yep.
good to have those connections over there because you know what they do have in Hawaii: military members that want to
Military
move to the
members. That's right.
states.
That's
And where
exactly
do they
right.
want to live? Where do they want to live?
Everybody's moving to
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Everybody's moving to Texas.
Good
Hey,
for
Matt,
you.
I got to run.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Yeah.
I've never Zencasted before.
Yeah. Well,
So,
that's just the platform we're rolling
yeah,
with.
yeah.
But I tell you what, if anybody in Houston, you want to buy a house or sell a house, especially if you're a veteran, call Cynthia. She does amazing work. And yeah, she's at Keller Williams Southwest, Highway 6, right?
Highway 6. Yep.
Yep. So go out there and check her out. Call the office. Tell her that you want to talk to her. Don't just say I need an
Cynthia,
agent.
CynthiaRealtyGroup.com.
There you go. Go to the website, check it out.
CynthiaRealtyGroup.com.
Yep. Connect, and I
Connect
hope
with
that
me there.
you continue to build and grow. We'll
I
probably
love
do
it.
this again, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Let's do it again.